Hey, Brew, stop messing about polishing those trophies and do your bloody job, eh?
What?
You know what I'm saying, man?
Okay. Fine. I'm just polishing these trophies that I'm going to win anyway. And that's not really what I wanted to talk to you about today. So let's put them to one side. Right, so it's Ollie Epsom again. I've been cleaning out my garden recently, and after 3.5 years of living here, I haven't had a housewarming party. So I thought it's probably about time I did that. And I thought, I've got all these bricks lying around, it'd be nice to make a little stove out of them. So I'm going to try something now. It's not my idea actually, this one. I've seen it on a couple of videos on YouTube, especially from a guy called KGB Survivalist, and he's done something similar to what I'm doing now. But I've never tried it before, and you know, I'm not a rough, tough, rugged, bicep laden, you know, outdoor man who spends his entire afternoon out on the taiga boasting about women and shooting bears. So, you know, what will work for one may not necessarily work for this call sign. But let's give it a go. So what I've got here is some bricks. Now, I actually have 27 bricks and 3 half bricks, which I've broken with a hammer, because that's the level of technical sophistication we need now. And I have this grate here, which was just a piece of scrap metal that I found while I was cleaning out the garden. I think it's for some obscure gardening purpose that I don't know about. It's quite a fine mesh, but you could use anything, you know, a bit of oven, or just wrap some wire, or any old thing really. And that essentially is the ingredients, as far as I can tell, for this. And let's put it together and give it a go. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to build a base. Now, I don't necessarily think you need a base for any situation, but I've got a brick, so we're going to do it. So we're going to take 4 bricks. Arrange them in a square pattern, and there's a half brick here on the edge. And what I've done is I've put the square edges, the good edges of the half brick together. Next thing, we're going to build a U-shaped channel. Now, you'll do this based on the direction of the wind. For convenience and so you can see it, I'm going to pretend it's this direction. So, U. So 3 bricks, 1 half brick, and again, use the edges together. The next thing we do is we put the grate on top. So the situation now is the bottom's the ash pan, this is the grate, and then we're going to do the same situation again. So a half brick here, 1, 2, and 3. Now what's going to happen here is the fire is going to be on this grate here, the ash pan below, and the air can come in. Okay, everyone happy with that? And what I've also done is bent that down a bit, because I'll show you why later. Then we just build up a ring of bricks. So let's go 1, oh actually, sorry, my mistake. 2. And you just have to stagger them. So we're going all the way around this time. Don't worry, the weight of this brick will stop that brick from collapsing in. And just try and keep the air gaps between the bricks to a minimum by pushing them in as best we can. And obviously, because this is a portable survival stove, it's no problem to carry these 24 bricks in your backpack every time you go out into the wilderness. I mean, I know I do, right? Who doesn't? So keep going. I think in theory you could use as many bricks as you like. I think the taller the chimney, probably the better, really. But the astute of you will notice that as I put the so-called last brick in place, that I have a spare, and the purpose of this spare brick here is to use as a control for the intake. So that's basically the stove, a couple of minutes to build. Let's get some fire starting material and see if we can make it burn. Okay, so got a lighter, some fire lighters, a British newspaper, which if anything is great for the pot, and a load of small pieces of wood. And I know you're all desperate to tell me that I shouldn't need paper or a fire lighter in order to get this thing going, and I'm sure you're right, but it's not really my strong point, making things burn. So let's throw some stuff in it and see how we get on. So first thing I'm going to do is try and build it up on the grate a little bit, then generally chuck some fire lighters in it, chuck some wood after it, and see what happens. I don't think I'm planning on being any more sophisticated than that. Believe it or not, I did used to have to make fires as a kid, but it was a long time ago, and you know, we have central heating now, and I've never really been a fan of making life difficult just for the sake of it. Just the opposite. But I do have some wood that I want to get rid of, so, and you know, if this works, we'll have a cup of tea. Right, here goes. Okay, so you got the newspaper lit there. Just light a little bit of firelight as well. Chuck that in there as well. Spread it about a bit. Okay. Now I'm sure that I could have done that without a lighter, but that's not really the point, is it? Put that down there. We're going to put some small pieces of wood on top of that. Bloody hell, that's hot. Now, what I'm going to try not to do now is blow the whole thing out. Okay, yeah, so been burning for about 15 minutes now. It's starting to warm up nicely. Had a few issues in the beginning, lack of experience really, overfueled it, not enough air. Obviously air hole in the wrong place, etc. So I've just put this brick here to protect against gusts. Yeah, it looks like it's burning nicely now. So the next thing I'm going to do is go and get an old saucepan, of which I have a few, and we'll try and boil some water and have a nice cup of tea. Well, it's definitely getting very warm. Got 73.9 degrees there on the thermometer. A lot of steam coming off. The temperature on the outside of the bricks is only slightly above ambient, probably about 10 degrees, but in fairness that would take a long time. But certainly, yeah, certainly seems to be relatively, you know, successful. And I think with, you know, maybe drier wood and a better fire control system, this would probably work quite well. Okay, well, we've got 92 degrees in the middle of the saucepan now, 93. This is on the accurate thermometer. Unfortunately, all the ash is sort of sinking back into the saucepan, so and of course tea, you know, you don't actually want it to be 100 degrees, not for the finest you know, leaves hand picked from Sri Lanka that I like to drink, so we're just going to go for it as is, I think. Now, luckily, I've cooked enough for a friend, but since I don't have one, I've got enough for 2 cups of tea. Cheers! Right, well, so there you have it, a very quick and easy, you know, portable, handy stove. I mean, yeah, if you happen to find yourself stuck somewhere in the cold with nothing but 24 bricks, a grate, some fire lighting equipment, dry wood, some means of starting a fire, a saucepan, fresh water, finest hand-picked Kenyan tea leaves, mug that says Sir Nigel Gresley on it that I got from the Pacific A4 reunion a few years ago in the National Railway Museum, then this is the stove for you. And particularly so if you enjoy being covered in smoke and hanging around for ages waiting for some water to boil. If on the other hand you just want a cup of tea, then I'd recommend a kettle. As ever, thanks for watching, comment in the description below, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.